Hey guys, what is going on? I am inside of a tiny house, which is super exciting to me because I get to tour one particular tiny, but the owner has 7, 8,
9.
9?
Almost 10.
No, almost 10, so 9 and a quarter.
Yeah.
9 plus tinies that we're gonna talk about, but we're gonna tour one specifically, which is what I'm standing in. It's by far my favorite. If you are new to the channel, what I do here is I do a lot of van life tours, tiny home tours, unique style living, how to live. I'm building out an overland Jeep. I also built out 2 vans. I have a degree in architectural engineering, so I know this stuff. I do all of my own videos and editing. I'm a one-man wrecking crew. Check out this awesome, cool, tiny house extravaganza. I don't know really how else to put that, because that's what you got here. This is the owner right here, Pam. Pam.
Hi.
Pam. All right, guys, we're gonna go into all this right now. Okay, Pam, I got my wide angle lens on for everybody so we can get a full-on just everything about this whole entire cabin tiny home.
Just as long as it doesn't make me look wide.
Oh, you look phenomenal. Yes, yes. I guess we can kind of start behind you and work our way forward, which is where we're going to start with the bathroom. But let's talk about that.
We'll start first with the bathroom door because my husband designed this and he thought it was very clever. Loves to hunt. So this was antler from just a shed, not something that he actually harvested for our meat, but it was a shed that he found out in the woods one day. He wanted that as the handle to the
How the heck did he attach that thing?
I'm not quite sure. I do know that's kind of got a little bit of Dremel work here where the horns go into the wood a little bit to make it more stable, but I think there's a screw in from the back or something. This piece of wood was significant for him because he drug this all the way from Michigan. It's just funny how he collects pieces of wood from places, but he wanted the outhouse door look to this.
I love it.
The little moon. Should have gotten versed with him before I started this video, but I think this signified whether it was male or female outhouse.
Interesting, really?
I'm not, don't quote me on that, but I think
I'm sure somebody in the comments will correct us.
Yeah, or I'll have him write it in the comments when I check it out when I go back in. Just one of the little details, little moose head here for a coat hook. I said in one of the earlier videos that sliding doors are the best for tiny houses because they don't take up hardly any space. You don't need that swing space in the house for them. Just on a closet door rail that's up hidden behind here, this metal thing, so you don't have to have any wheels or anything on the floor. It will hold this really heavy door, and then you face it to hide the metal with this little valance of wood. And on this wall this was our accent wall in the house. These boards go vertical instead of horizontal like the rest.
Oh my goodness.
Totally a different kind of wood here on this back wall. This is all cedar, and this is blue stain pine.
Yeah, blue pine,
or beetle kill pine, depending on what you want to call it. It goes by both names.
I didn't even realize the vertical to the horizontal. I mean, your eyes, it's like a subconscious thing. You don't realize it. Really well done.
So in the bathroom, all our houses at Tiny Digs Hotel have flush toilets because we're on city water and sewer here. A single stall shower, and those are all. Each house is a little different. Some of them have something different than this, but this one has plastic, fiberglass shower. Yeah. And then we have the mirror in here to put your makeup on, but we wanted a little shelf. But if there's a big burly guy in here, he can put the shelf down so he can have more room. But if the gal is here or the guy's here shaving, you got your little shelf to put your makeup on. This was a Goodwill find.
Oh my goodness.
Earlier,
you're a pro at that.
I love to go thrift shopping, and so this I got, it's a slab of wood with live edge on the edge. It was at one of those Goodwill boutique shops.
Yeah, did you cut the whole, was that mirror already there?
The mirror was already there. It was all done.
Oh, wow.
It was totally done. I just put an extra coat of varnish on it. Around the corner here, I like artwork in each one of the bathrooms, and because this door had
Wait a minute.
That
oh, wow. I don't think I ever saw that.
Outhouse theme to the door. There's a little outhouse artwork on the wall.
It kind of brings me to my next point where you design, we talked about this in another video, but you design, you're the interior decorator of each one of your tinies.
Yeah.
Where you come up with this kind of, stuff is remarkable to me. So just a shout out to you for everything that you do here.
Thank you. It's fun.
The outside of this particular, before we move forward into the kitchen and whatnot, the outside of this was how big? Do you know the size of it, height-wise, length-wise, etc.?
It's 8.5 foot wide, so it's road legal.
Okay.
And then it's 16 foot long, as most of our houses are here at Tiny Digs. It has a little 5 foot porch on the front, and then the height is 13.6 because that's also road legal here. On the West Coast, actually, you can go to 14 foot, but then you'd have to, secure your tiny. Just in Oregon, Washington, or California, nationally, 13.6 is the height.
So 13.6, 8 wide,
8.5
8.5 wide. Excuse me.
Wide's
And then you said 16 long.
16 long.
Okay.
Feels bigger than that. Exterior of the house is half logs, though. I wanted to note that it's Port Orford cedar that's on the exterior. It really is a sound deadener. That's why this one is up by the street here on our property. It's really makes it insulator also because it's a thicker wood. So in the summer, we don't have to run the air conditioning as much in this house.
Interesting.
And in the winter, it takes less heating because that Port Orford cedar is really an insulator on it.
Do you have an insulation in here as well?
We do.
Okay.
Because we were on such a tight budget, because we had 13 houses that we're building here for the project, we went with the least expensive was the old rolled bats, the traditional.
Sure.
If I was building a house for myself, I would probably do the foam blown in stuff. I have since learned more about that. Initially, I wouldn't have known how to do it ourselves.
Sure.
Now we know how. Our son has done it for another builder that he's worked for. Totally would do that to insulate my home more.
Sure.
But we're in a pretty mild temperature ranges here in Portland, Oregon. We get mostly rain in the winter, not a lot of snow. So it's not that bad. But if I was going back to Michigan and doing a tiny house, I'd definitely do the spray foam, or a container house, or even some vans I've seen that they do the spray foam.
This is a weird question. I didn't ask you this in your other video. Are you doing a container style tiny?
Probably not for here, but that's kind of one of my wishes for my own personal next home.
Me too. So can you get that done?
Home. Yeah. I'll give you a call when we get it.
Thank you. All right, so you have this under the loft, kitchenette, and then you actually have a dining area. Very well thought out because we only have 8.5 feet across here. Love your sink.
Thank you.
Love your sink. Was that another thrift find?
No, this was brand new, but I'm a big Pinterester. I tell people, you're thinking about doing a project of any kind, go to Pinterest and start a page for that project and just throw every idea that you think you might be able to use with that project on there, because then you have a lot of inspiration. You can find my Pinterest accounts online.
Will you give me the help too? Because I really do need to get my Pinterest up and running.
I have tons of pictures on my own, Pam Westra.
Okay.
You can go to Pam Westra and find it's all open to the public, and look at my pages. I'm just trying to get those transferred over to Tiny Digs so people can look at, here's the inspiration I started with, and here's the finished product.
I love that.
And we'll have pictures of the finished houses, and you can do a compare. These little galvanized buckets, this was the first one I did. I would put a little finish on it on the interior. I found some of them rust out, but they're just fun. And then this was to make it look like it's a, the old water pump deal, so it was a spigot to make it look like that.
That is exactly like the old school pumps. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
These are just hickory cabinets from Home Depot.
Okay.
And it just went nicely with the cedar on the ceiling, and little live edge shelves here to put the dishes in. And my husband etched a groove in this so the plates stick up on here without sliding off. And as you can see, we do have a few Christmas decorations in the house right now because we're just before the holidays. Then up here, I tell people, have fun with your lighting. Don't cheap out. Don't negate the lighting. That's one of the funnest things in the houses when I get to do them. This was actually in a store. It was a table lamp. As you can see, there's a little hole in the back where the cord would come out. And I said, but I don't want it as a table lamp. I don't have tables in here to set it on, but I really want this. So I took the whole lamp apart, and my husband and son made this wooden disc up here so we could just put it into the ceiling.
Mason jar with an Edison light, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're really,
Yeah,
it's
real popular.
aesthetically, pleasing and beautiful.
In all our houses, we have a little mini fridge and a kitchenette area. We supply our guests with organic coffees and organic teas and the condiments and stuff. And since I put the fun little Christmas mugs in all the houses, we even have some hot cocoa, because that was kind of a tradition in my house. We had those goofy little mugs that you can get at the dollar store nowadays. We would have Christmas morning, you would have hot cocoa and whipped cream.
So before we go to this extravagant
Yeah.
staircase, I wanted to touch on just this side of the house. You have a dining for two.
Yeah.
Actually, I knew you were going there.
It can be, because this is a house that 4 people can fit into. The couch pulls out into a double bed, and this table, I love drop leaf tables for tiny houses. This table, it's just got a little swing arm underneath, and it can drop down. So really, you can pull this table out, and there's another leaf on the other side. These are called drop leaf tables. There's a little bench under the stairwell here, and you can bring that bench over and set it on the back side or the front side of the table, and 4 people can actually sit here and eat if they want to. I just love these drop leaf tables. A number of our houses have them in it. This was an old, really ganky one that I found at an antique store, but it was really dirt cheap. I think I paid like $15 for it because it was gross. It had been in somebody's barn for years and years. It was old and dirty and crusty with oils, like somebody had been putting all their oil changing equipment on it, and had cobwebs hanging all over it. So I had an intern that worked with us on the house at that time, and I said, you know, let's do something fun with this. So she sanded it down a little bit, and we power washed it, made a little bit more texture in it, and then she whitewashed it and clear coated it for us.
That's
and
really
it turned
well
out
done.
Really cool.
They did a lot of finishing to it.
And then these chairs are fun. I found these,
look at these
at a local antique store, and the antique dealer told me that they were actually from the 1800s, and I can totally believe it. They're primitive craftsman style.
Wow.
This is actually leather binding in here.
Oh my goodness.
The sinew.
You said this comes out as a bed.
Yes, this pulls out. We designed these.
Oh, look at that.
We are longtime campers in our family. Grandpa Art had a trailer. They went camping every weekend, and this is how a lot of the camper beds, couch beds were made. Just put alternating boards in here.
Yep.
Build a box, and then
Call it a day.
the mattress, and 2 people can sleep on that.
Beautiful fireplace that actually does give off heat.
It does.
Yeah.
It does,
And now to the coolest part, which most tinies, not all of your tinies, but most tinies have a loft space.
Right.
I'm gonna get up here unless you want to.
No, go ahead.
What's up with these stairs? These stairs are really thought out. Yeah.
These logs were actually hand hewn by my husband and son. If you go on our website, you can find some pictures of them actually pulling the draw knife across these, taking the skin off of. My husband has always wanted a log cabin in his life, and I said, if we ever have a log cabin, this is the style stairway. So this is his miniature log cabin. My son is very creative. Kevin does most of our rail systems and handrails on the houses, and I just kind of turn them loose. I might give him some product and say, make this into something for the handrail and the railing of the loft, and he comes create some stuff for me. So this, I forget what kind of wood this is here, but it's pretty cool. It's just secured into the wall, as most of our handrails are, with these, they're called timber lock screws, and this thing is so solid, it's not going anywhere for 100 years. It's in the studs here with these timber lock screws. It's set off the wall with just a simple dowel. I will go up.
Okay, I'm be right behind you. Well, I'm looking at your chandelier. It looks really, really nice. It looks like it's a bunch of antlers.
It is. And no animals were harmed in the making of this lamp.
Okay.
Every season, a deer will shed his antlers. These are sheds that people go out. Actually, the Boy Scouts will go out into the woods in a lot of areas, collect these, and then come back to town and sell them as fundraisers for the year.
Oh, wow.
And,
I didn't know that.
I went on Etsy one day, and this guy just makes these and sells them at the price that the resin ones.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's really nice. It's pretty.
It's really pretty. My husband and son are bow makers,
Okay.
And,
What do they not do?
They do bows and arrows. And so this is yew wood. Yew is what traditional long bows are made out of. And
How do you spell that?
Y-E-W, I believe.
Okay, yew wood, okay.
It has a beautiful, beautiful pattern on the back side.
Okay.
This was one log that they couldn't use for a bow, and so it was sliced in half to be made for the railing. And again, super strong. We actually went to the Mount Hood National Forest and got a permit to harvest yew wood up there. You can take so many size pieces out of the woods, but you have to have a permit from the rangers.
Do you know dimensions offhand what the loft is?
When you get to the interior of a house, you know, people say, well, my trailer is 8.5 foot wide, and actually I made this mistake when I first started using my little graph paper project of designing the house. I didn't realize I would lose a foot in width and a foot in length. By the time you put all the different layers, the 2x4s that are in the wall and the surface on the exterior and the interior, you actually lose a whole foot almost, not quite, but almost on the interior. So this is about 7.5 foot wide side to side. This is a queen size bed. This loft is about 70 inches deep.
Oh, wow.
My recommendation is to make your loft bigger so you can walk around. We were newbies at this. This was, I think, our third house that we built, and we had moved around in them to make the bed. Make your loft as big as you can, because you want to be able to make the bed easily moving around the bed.
Interesting. That's a really good tip there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very functional. It's very great.
Yeah.
I mean, I got up there again. This is again my favorite tiny you have on property.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm gonna let you go up there.
Please.
All our houses have a queen bed as the main bed, as I've said before. All of them, you can sit up in the bed. People ask me all the time, what's the deal with, can you sit up in the upstairs? And we made all the upstairs so that you could sit up in the, we didn't want to feel really cramped or like we were in a coffin.
Yeah, and I'll actually show everybody because I'm up here. Oh, there's the back side of the wood.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
It is really
We're
pretty.
really into wood, as you can see. This house has a lot of different varieties of wood.
If I remember correctly, the height on the inside is roughly 13.
It's about 13 inches on the interior.
On the interior.
I mean, not 13 feet, but
13 feet.
11 feet on the interior, because your trailer is 2 foot off the ground.
Oh.
So if you're doing road legal, you have to measure from the ground to the peak of the roof. That's 13.6. Then once you compensate for the 2 foot distance that the trailer is on, and then the distance of your thickness of your floor and the thickness of your roof line, we're at about, for the interior of the house, 13 feet.
And as you guys can see, I'm like just on my knees here. The mattress is right here to my left. I am nowhere even close. I'm close. My head. But this is on a pitch, right? It's
and I forget the pitch on this.
could have sat up here easily though.
It's odd. There's a different pitch to each side of the wall. If you can look at the end profile of the wall.
Oh yeah.
We purposely made a flatter pitch over the stairway so that we'd have a little more headroom over the stairway to walk up. And then the area over the couch has a traditional, I think it's a 12-12 pitch on that side.
Here I am coming down, and I'm actually moving forward, and it's really comfortable to go down forward.
Yeah.
You don't have to go down backwards. Big old stairs. I love it. You know, the rise and the run are actually really nicely done.
They're pretty normal.
Yeah, they are very normal. I didn't feel like I was going to trip at all. It was nice.
Woodwork in these houses, we make a lot of our own trim as we're building a house. We are of Dutch heritage, which they say the Dutch are very cheap, and so we don't like to have scrap in our wood. Well,
Yeah.
a lot of times the cedar wood, as it dries, it will get a crack in it. So we'd have all these leftover boards that we couldn't use parts and pieces for. Save it. We can make at least a little stick trim for around the windows and doors with that piece. So
I love your Santa decorations. It's really
yeah, and our
nicely
little
done.
live edge mantle there.
It's
Santa.
really nicely done. Well, Pam, you are amazing in every way possible. You, again,
blew me away with the detail-oriented design of all of, not just this cabin or tiny, but all of your tinies. Best way we can find you is
tinydigshotel.com.
tinydigshotel.com.
Yep.
You can actually book a reservation
Yep.
at any one, this one or any of the tinies that you have on property. You currently have 9, working on a 10th.
Yep.
And I think you mentioned that you were trying to go to 13.
Right. Over the next couple years.
Do you have a number that you can cap out at on this property?
We have utilities for like 15 on the property.
Oh, wow.
We're running out of space, but we do have it situated now where we can have 13.
How about this? Without current situations, do you guys have little community like gatherings in the summertime? Like, let's say you have 4 or 5 of them booked, 6 of them, 9 of them booked, whatever it is.
People love it. They will book the whole place out. Sometimes we've had weddings here. Sometimes book clubs will come. All the members will rent a house. And we had a really fun bachelorette party here just in August. We have Pairings Wine down the street. And Jeff, the owner, he will come and pairs wines to whatever. And so what he told the girls to do, give him a name of a word that kind of matched the bride's personality.
Wow.
So then he matched a wine that fit the bride's personality, and then he goes off on his little comedic spin of the whole thing, and it was just funny. They were just laughing hysterically when he was doing the wine serving.
Pam, I can't thank you enough. Again, if you guys want to check out more of what I'm standing in or any of them, check out tinydigshotel.com.
Thank you.
And thank you, Pam, for doing all of this and setting time aside for me. I really do appreciate that.
Appreciate you coming and seeing us.
Thank you so much.
All right. Bye.